We're doing just Juicy here, Cricket Strength Inner Circle members content. Now put together a little almost training thing for you guys today. And we're going to look at screening. I know we talked a lot about it, but I'm going to give you a case study of something which has happened quite recently. And you'll be shocked to know it got me in trouble again with the higher powers. But I want to show you it because for me, it illustrates exactly why screening's needed. So let's dive in. So screening, what is it? As I said, for me, it's one of the most important things we do. If we don't do it, the big phrase we always hear is if you're not assessing, you're guessing. And this case study will really, hopefully, for you guys, bring that to life. Like we say, assess, don't guess. Because what's happened here is someone's guessed at something, and it could have gone pretty disastrously wrong. We got to follow the thread. Where does it take you? Almost, follow the breadcrumbs. Any analogy you want to give it, but there's clues everywhere to how we move and what we need. So all we need to do is follow them, and make things simple. It's not a complicated thing. Let's keep it very simple and see where we go. Because when we do that, we get a lot better, quicker. So, like I said, this is a case study. And it's two of our Worcester boys, and they've just recently been with England under 19. Two fast bowlers. They're both 6'4" tall, big lads. One of them's probably 6'5" now. Been through growth spurts in the last year, 18 months, and they're really coming on. Good prospects. And when they were in the World Cup, it was on Sky TV, and they're both bowling it clocked at 85 mile an hour, which is brilliant because they're both quite young training ages as well. Because they're not with us all the time; they dip in and out, so the potential is huge. Now, what happened at the end of the thing? They got sent back to us with exactly, pretty much word for word, the same recommendations for how they need to progress a physical prep. Now, a bit of background to this. Beforehand, they go up to Loughborough and they get screens and all this stuff. And what came back from Loughborough initially was exactly the same program for both of them. So, as you could well imagine, I said, well, how is this possible? They're completely different. Just because they're 6'4" fast bowlers doesn't mean they should be on the same program. So yeah, I wasn't that impressed with that. So yeah, got sent back with exactly the same recommendations, and for me, immediately alarm bells are ringing, thinking, okay, what's this based on? There was a lot of subjective data, and when I say subjective, I mean people's opinions. And with the best will in the world, I don't give a damn about someone's opinion. Show me some facts. Show me facts, we could talk all day. Opinions, no. Because I've been around cricket now, I've been 18 years. I've been on tours, people get bored, coaches say absolute bullshit, and people just agree. And they say ridiculous things about strength and this, that, and the other, and it's crazy. So I'm all about being objective, not subjective. And they got, like I said before, they got different training ages. Got one lad who's very, very raw, one who's been in a bit longer, but it doesn't matter the training age. Sometimes you can't say the one who's got a better training age is going to be further ahead in movement competency terms, because it's not a linear pattern, unfortunately. So what we do next? So they're basically given back to us in our hands, and we had this about how they needed to get stronger, basically. And they're in a position now they can move on to all the strength work they need to do. So if it was just went like probably most people guided by these recommendations, I could have chucked them into a full S&C program. They could have been squatting, deadlifting, hip thrusting, snatching, cleaning, all that sort of crap that most S&Cs will go for straight away. And they would have thought that would have been good for these two guys. But, like we talk all the time, take a step back, evaluate it, then make your own mind up. And this is where the screening comes into its own. And there won't be much clearer for you than seeing this. And when you see it, you'll think, well, how could they say they should have the same program and the same recommendations. So here we go. And again, subjective, not objective. Come on, just dealing facts. We don't need the whole needs to get stronger, because that's all we hear. Need to get stronger, need to get stronger, need to get stronger. Will tell us something better than that. You know what I mean? So we've just got a few of the exercises here. We've got one of the boulders on the left. Let's have a little look at his overhead squat. Coming down there. Okay. Good. And then the other bowler coming into the overhead squat. So we can see, you know, they're different. They're completely different there. So if we take a still of them at the bottom, this still doesn't tell you everything the stills, but it gives you quite a bit here. What it doesn't say is the sort of bowler B here. As he comes down, he has a hip shift left and right to try and get him there. But in that position, it's not the worst. Where we go? Sorry. That position's not the worst at all. Okay, compared to the one on the left, where his knees have to flare out a lot to get any depth at all. Got absolutely nothing going on the thoracic extension. So there we'd be thinking, okay, straight away, first test, differences. So, you know, again, they're saying they're ready to move on their strength and conditioning programs. Well, not with a squat, they're not. Straight away, bang, bang. Might front squat B. Definitely wouldn't go near the squat with A. Inline lunge, let's have a little look at these videos. Much of a muchness, really. Hand placement is not quite there with the bar. Should hand be behind the head and on the lower back. But not a problem, really. Here, fine. So inline lunge, not telling you a hell of a lot there. Now this is where it gets interesting. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Let's have a little look at the step over. Now see how much this lad struggles on one leg for any semblance of control. Any semblance of control. Literally all over the shop. So he's been away for 4 or 5 months and he's come back like that. Now this lad's only played 2 games as well. Compared with subject B, bang, basically up straight, controlled, hips, shoulder, great alignment, not a problem. Okay, bang, okay, straight away, this has highlighted how A to B are completely different animals here, completely different. Can you imagine putting number A on a massive strengthening program before he sorts out, we've got hip mobility problems, stability problems, and thoracic issues, okay? Whereas subject B got a lot less. It's still got stuff going on, not perfect, but a lot less going on. So we have to regress him a lot less. We can put him into a program a lot sooner than subject A. So when we look at the pictures, so left leg, look at that. This should be your strong, for a right arm bowler, this is your strong side. Look how he's got to get the rib cage flaring, the hip up, the shoulder down. He's got to come out into abduction to get that hip coming over, all over the shop. He's even got to push the bar up to try and give him a little bit of purchase. Whereas B, all fairly nice and pretty square with the hips there, shoulders. Always talk about that block keeping square. Foot facing forward, both feet facing forward, come up, and he's straight over. So that's on the good leg. What should be on a bad leg? A, again, similar things. You've got to come up and round, a little less lateral flexion. But again, the bar's riding up. His right foot's had to go into a little bit of abduction as well. So we're all over the shop. Where subject B, again, nice smooth lines, and we're there. So what do we see? Both players are different. You know, that should stand out a mile. Anyway, It doesn't take someone who's been through the FMS to see this. It just takes a pair of eyes and a bit of common sense. And it's crazy that people aren't doing this simple things. So, like I said, if we didn't take 10 minutes, then it probably took 12 minutes for both of them together to go through it and us to get their scores and everything. But if we didn't do it and just went with these recommendations that come through, what sort of programming would they be? And it could be catastrophic. Subject A there, if we were loading him bilaterally in a standing position with that amount of asymmetry and just poor control, we're heading for injuries. Not a doubt in my mind. Not a doubt in my mind. Within a certain amount of time, he would be struggling badly. What we can do, we can dial in on the specific areas here. So we can go straight there. Okay, right. First up, mobility is an issue. But the underlying thing for me there, stability and control. We've got to get that back. And we've shown he can compensate on two. You wouldn't have thought when he went, his overhead squat wasn't great, but you wouldn't have said he was unstable. As soon as we put you on one, bang, it shows up. So where do we go next with it? Obviously, they've got to be on different programs. They have to be. To put these two on the same program is going to harm one of the two. If they're both a regressional program, it will harm subject B because he's not going to progress as fast. Because we do want to give them strength work. Of course we do. Strength and stability, massive, absolutely massive. So we want to be doing that, but we can't with subject A at the moment. So we've got to regress him. And then again, if subject A was on subject B's plan when we go on for strength, he's going to get injured. He's going to get injured. So they've got to be separate. And the unstable play, what we've given him is single leg regressions, a lot of half kneeling patterns, a lot of rolling patterns, these sorts of things, mobility, all this. He's got to be getting it. He's got to be getting stable, and it'll help his bowling as well. With a stable player, we're going the higher threshold training program, and what we're doing with him with this correctives, because he's not perfect, like I said, he's got correctives. But we're doing that in the prep phase and using them as supersets. So he might be doing a set of trap bar deadlifts and then in between a little bit of hip mobility drills. Simple things like that. After 4 weeks, we'll reassess, then plan again. And who can be doing this? Everyone. Absolutely everyone. It doesn't matter what phase you're in. 10 minutes, it can vastly change what you might have planned to do. And if like I said, if you've got someone doing the wrong program, working hard, but no progression, it's going to either impact them injury-wise or performance-wise. So let's get this right. Be smart and effective. Okay, that's it. Hopefully you got loads out of this. Any questions, hit me up under the video, and we shall speak soon.